Well, hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Marcus, and we are here to talk about what it means to love everyone always. Guys, this is a clutch moment in history. I think this is a clutch moment in the history of the church. It's a clutch moment in the history of our church. And what that means is this is a clutch moment in the history of your life and my life. And so here we are talking about loving everyone always. And we need to learn about, well, what does that mean? And how do I do it? So to get us going with that, I got a question for you. Have you ever learned anything important on accident? You ever learned anything important on accident? I have. It's happened a bunch of times to me where you kind of whoops yourself into learning a key life lesson. Here are a couple quick examples. When I was first learning how to drive, back in Chicago, I was learning how to drive in a Buick Electra 225, 1973, aka the Deuce and a Quarter. I'm in the car with my dad, he's in the passenger seat, and I'm driving in our neighborhood, and there's a stop sign that I'm approaching. And as I approach the stop sign, I just continue to go right on through this particular stop sign. Much to my father's chagrin, and I heard some colorful language in that moment from my dear old dad. Now, you might say, Marcus, why in the world didn't you stop? Why would you just keep plowing right through? Well, here's why. Because an hour earlier, my older brother told me, hey, Mark, I got to tell you something. He called me Mark back then. I said, did you know that the stop signs with the white lines around them, those are optional? And so I believed my older brother, and so I just went right on through the sign because it was optional. You know what I learned that day from my father's patient, loving, not really, coaching to me? Well, stop signs with white lines around them are in fact not optional. Thanks, brother. Another time where I learned something very important on accident was right after I met my future wife, Annie. And we're in Chicago, we're down on a beach, and we had ordered some of the best pizza in the world to have as a date. We're eating this pizza like twilight, the stars are beautiful, we're on the beach just enjoying a pizza, getting to know each other a little bit better. This is maybe our third or fourth date. And so we've got this amazing slice of Giordano's pizza. Again, I think best pizza in the world. And as we're enjoying this, I have an idea. And so I think I'm going to lean in for the smooch first time. And so Annie's got this piece of pizza, and I just reach over and I grab this piece of Giordano's pizza, and I just toss it right over my shoulder, and I go in for the smooch. As I'm getting nearer her, she said, what are you doing? How could you waste a perfectly good piece of pizza like that? And in that moment, I realized that I almost lost the love of my life because of getting rid of a piece of pizza, not just any pizza, mind you. I learned a very important lesson in that moment that, again, almost cost me my marriage to be. Now, a little bit more seriously, have you ever learned a life lesson that was so important, but you learned it on accident, and it was a tougher one? I was a hospital chaplain. It was about 6 in the morning. It was actually my first day. And I'm listening to the news that morning as I'm getting ready to go in, and I hear a terrible report of an awful accident that happened on Lakeshore Drive where one car had jumped the median and hit head-on into another car, instantly killing all 4 of the other passengers from the other car. Right about that same time, I get a call to go into the emergency room of the hospital that I was a chaplain at. They said there's a dead on arrival, a DOA, and the mom is coming in, and the doctor would like you to tell her. So I show up to the hospital, and they usher me into a room. The mom hadn't gotten there yet. And there on a stainless steel table is a young man who's 25 years old, and he's dead. I'm also 25 at the time, by the way. And I'm just struck with the gravity of this situation and realizing I am way out of my depth. And so I actually called my supervisor, left a voicemail saying, hey, this is way over my head. I really think you should take this one. Well, he deliberately didn't answer my call because he wanted me to go through this experience. The mom came in, and I just had no idea what to say. She walked up to her son, and she just began to sob, leaning over him, picking up his arm and dropping it over and over again, just saying, "Wake up." And I was just heartbroken. I saw her unbelievable pain, the pain of a mother's heart that lost a son, and my heart broke for her. And I didn't know what to do. So all I did was to be there with her. I just put my arm around her. Every few minutes she would just turn and just kind of sob into my chest. And I just held her. I thought about scriptures that I could spout off and try to encourage her, but I realized that's not what she needs right now. She needs someone to be present with her. And it was in that moment that I learned an invaluable lesson about life called the ministry of presence. Have you ever learned anything important on accident? As I'm looking through Scripture, not long after that time, I'm coming across Mark chapter 6. In Mark chapter 6, we have a powerful picture of Jesus teaching us something, but it's not on accident. It's actually quite on purpose. And I want to read just one verse of Scripture to you out of this scene that's so powerful and that will help us to be able to live on purpose. This comes from Mark chapter 6, verse 34, and you're going to see it on the bottom of your screen here, but here's what it says. When Jesus landed and saw a large crowd, he had compassion on them because they were like sheep without a shepherd. And so he began teaching them many things. Now, this is absolutely so profound to be able to understand. There's this pattern in Jesus' life that you see, and it's not accidental because you see it over and over and over again in various other parts of Scripture. It's where Jesus would see the need, he would overflow with compassion, and then he would move to meet the need. He saw the need, overflowed with compassion, and then moved to meet the need. He looked, he loved, and he lived it out. See, Jesus pulls up on shore and he sees this great crowd. It says he saw that they were like sheep without a shepherd. You know what sheep without a shepherd are? They're scared. They're scattered. They're starving. They feel vulnerable. They're lost. And Jesus sees this group of people and his heart literally breaks for them. If you remember what we talked about this past weekend, this word where his heart went out to them, he had compassion on them, literally means guts moving. It's splanchnizomai, really, really weird Greek word that basically means he was moved internally for these people. This wasn't pity. This was not sympathy. This was empathy. This was Jesus' brand of love. He saw their need. He overflowed with compassion. His heart went out to them, and he moved to meet their need. Interestingly here, just quickly, parenthetically, for Jesus, to love someone meant to teach them. Whenever Jesus would teach, it was an expression of love. I just think that's so beautiful about him and his heart. This is Jesus' incarnational pattern of love. To look, to love, to live it out. What does it mean to love everyone always? How do you do it? You look, you love, and you live it out. That's what this means. That's what loving everyone always is all about. So what? All right, what now? What do we do now? Well, here's what I want to encourage each and every one of you to do. Because when you hear the title of this series, Love Everyone Always, that can be pretty scary, right? It can sound pretty all-consuming. It can sound pretty all-encompassing. It can sound pretty global. It can be overwhelming. It can be paralyzing because you see all the need all around the world and you think, how am I supposed to meet all those needs? Well, friends, I want to encourage you and maybe even free you up a little bit. You're not. You don't have to. God doesn't call you to solve every need in the world. Jesus, think about it, when he walked this earth, he did not meet every single need of everyone around him. He was very strategic. So I want to encourage you right now to love everyone always locally. Go small in your mind. Go think small, kind of bring the zoom lens in. As a matter of fact, what I'd love to ask you to do right now, and this might feel a little bit awkward, that's all right, just do it. Just take a moment right now as you're sitting in a circle, and you're in your living room, family room, wherever you are, watching this together as a small group. Just take a second and just kind of look around into the eyes of everyone in your circle. Go ahead and do that right now. I know it feels a little weird, that's okay. Just do it. Look into the eyes of every person around the circle. Look into the lives of the people around you. What I want to encourage you to do is to see the needs in the lives of those around you. You guys know each other. You're getting to know each other. You probably know each other enough already to know that there's some pretty strong needs. Some of them are more superficial. Some of them are a lot deeper. But every single one of you in this circle, you've got a need. And what looking and loving and living it out means is that when we look at the lives of those around us, their need meets our heart and something supernatural happens. That's what happens here. You see it over a dozen times in the Gospels where Jesus sees the need, overflows with compassion, and moves to meet the need. Something powerful happens. People were healed. People were resurrected. People were taught. People were miraculously fed. Because that's Jesus' style of love, to look, to love, and to live it out. So as you look around this circle at one another right now, if there's a need, and if there's a love, then there's something supernatural about to happen. So I want to encourage each and every single one of you to realize that because your heart meets their need, something supernatural is about to happen. This is what it means to love everyone always. To look, to love, and to live it out. So friends, Foundations Nation, let's go be the church that Jesus dreamed about as we meet these needs out of love together. Because if we do that, we're going to be loving everyone always, the people that God puts in front of us. And we're not going to be doing it on accident. We're going to be doing it on purpose. Let's love everyone always by looking, by loving, and by living it out. Okay, we've got some discussion questions for us to help us to learn how to do this together.